Hello everyone. We are having some technical difficulties here, and I'm actually doing this live now on my phone. I would rather prefer to do this via the computer, so I'm trying to work that out here as I'm online with you guys now on the phone. So thank you for joining me. And I know that a few of you are messaging us. I mean, that actually definitely makes me super happy that so many of you are eager to watch us live and see what information we are bringing you. So I'm thankful for your loyalty. I guess my computer isn't going to do it today. I don't know if it is Facebook or if it is my laptop. Yay! Thank you so much, Saraswati. Thank you, Kiran. I appreciate that so much. So we're gonna do this on the phone, and hopefully, you can see me and you can hear me, and I can see your comments as it comes in. So this is our Q&A today. So please post your questions if you have any specific ones. I'll be going over the ones that we already got, and as you post your questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And one other thing that I wanted to let you know today is a lot of you know something about homeopathy, or maybe you're completely a novice to this, or you know someone who wants to come into this whole world of things, or understand what this is about, but don't want to really invest in coming into for an appointment and so on and so forth. So we are actually bringing you a brand new webinar, and this webinar is going to be the first week of June, the first Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time. And on this webinar, I'm going to actually cover our body, how it works, the basic body 101, biology 101 on cells, and a lot more than that. I'm also going to talk about symptoms and organs, and how does the subtle energy flow, what is subtle energy, what makes us sick, what keeps us healthy, the relationship of food and our body and health, as well as common remedies and medicines to keep in your medicine cabinet to replace drugs, so you can be healthy just like we are in our family. We don't have any drugs at all in our medicine cabinet. All of our medicines are natural. We do not have anything that is chemical based in our medicine cabinet at all. So I kind of wanted to give you a preview of that, so that you or a loved one of yours can make use of that. And it's going to be a very small fee for it, just so I can actually bring that information to you. And so it's on our Facebook page. We've already posted that event for, I believe, June 5th. I could be wrong, don't quote me. It's the first Wednesday of June. I can't remember what the date is. So you can actually share that information with your family and friends. And since it's going to be online, it's a webinar, you can actually send that to anybody living anywhere in the world that could benefit from it, and anybody can actually start doing those kinds of things. So, and we're also going to be giving out free booklet, protocol booklet, as well as our recommendation sheet for day-to-day things that we use to live a clean living, to live a healthy living, along with the webinar registration. So that's something that we're going to do as well. I'm really, really excited about that, because, this is something that I've always wanted to do. Not only just for our patients, but also for people who may not have the sources or the resource to be able to come in and get that education, but be able to get more and more information. So that's what we are doing. Just wanted to let you know that. Totally looking forward to the webinar. Thank you, Saraswati. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing you in there. I'm really keen to know when you will cover this 5G and how to protect us from the technology. We know it's coming soon, whether we like it or not, just need to be prepared. That's exactly right. So in the next few weeks, you will actually hear from us, because I kind of wanted to go over a lot of things with you on that specifically. I don't want to give you any half-baked information. I want to go over the details of why or how it can be harmful for us and what we can do about it. It is definitely coming. As I asked you last time, please do send us any of topics that you want us to cover on these Facebook Lives, because this is for you. This is actually to bring you more information so that you can truly stay healthy and well, and your family as well. So that's what we are doing this for. So please bring the questions that you have, topics that you want us to cover, and send it to us via email, on our Facebook Messenger, on our page, or as a comment on our post. Anything will do, and we'd be happy to bring those to you. So let me go to the questions that I have here already that came in, and please do go ahead and post any immunity questions that you have, and I'd be happy to answer those as well, or any other health questions that you have. So some of the questions I got, the first question I have here is, how much greens should we consume in order for us to get the most immune boosting benefits? So thank you for that question. And there is no such number as, oh, you need to eat these many. But if a person is eating at least 6 to 9 servings of vegetables and fruits, and that is the rainbow. So if it's 7, and if you eat the rainbow, it'll be beneficial for you for sure. It doesn't have to be necessarily just greens. But one of the reasons why we talk about greens all the time is if we think about what foods have the most nutrients, anything that every vegetable, every fruit in this world gets its nutrients from the soil. It's not like suddenly blueberry has this nutrient, or strawberry has this nutrient, or greens has this nutrient. So it all comes from the soil. So the way we look at it is this way: anything that is closer to the soil has the most nutrients. The farther away it grows from the soil, the lesser the nutrients. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have nutrients. It has lesser nutrients comparatively. That's all. But one of the other things to notice is that the closer it is to the soil, not only does it have more nutrients, more minerals, it may also be a little difficult to digest if you don't have a good digestive system. So for all our patients, we talk about gut health all the time, because that's kind of essential to have good bacteria in your gut in order for you to be able to break down greens. Otherwise, salads can cause a problem, greens can cause a problem. They can actually make you feel more bloated, make you feel more gassy, make you feel more indigestion, and so on and so forth. And that's not because of the greens. So people think, oh, it's a greens, so I should avoid greens. And that is the reason why people with ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease have very difficult time digesting salads or any raw foods. It's not because they are bad, it's because their digestive system is so poor. It's actually in a really poor state now that they cannot do that. But we typically do 3/4 of a blender with greens, and then we make greens other than that as well, with dal or lentils in a week as well. So I would say maybe at least 3 to 4 servings of greens a day, and then rest of other kinds of vegetables and fruits as well, going up to 6 to 9 servings of the rainbow. Okay, that is what is necessary for immune boosting properties with the diet. So that's the first question. The second question that I have here is, okay, what are the absolutely necessary vitamins to have? We talked about this before, but I'd be happy to answer that again. So right now, zinc would be one, vitamin D would be another. You don't necessarily always have to get them through a supplement. You can always go out in the sun, sit in the sun, sit in your backyard, go out for a walk, go out for a run, go biking. Any of those things can be a good source of getting vitamin D. So it doesn't have to be from a pill. But if you are one of those people who hasn't gotten out in maybe the last 8 weeks or so since the COVID started, then it might be a good idea for you to take a supplement and not just rely upon this. And if you had a blood work done and your blood work showed low vitamin D, in December or even prior to that, and you have not been taking a vitamin D supplement, I would really highly recommend that you take a good liposomal vitamin D supplement, because that can be very helpful to keep your immune system strong right now. And zinc, there are lots of food sources that are very good in zinc. Nuts are a good source. Beans are a good source of zinc as well. So you can eat plenty of those kinds of foods and get zinc too. But if you know that you have a poor immune system, or you get sick often, that's what I mean by a poor immune system. If you get sick often, if your child gets sick and you get sick just because your child gets sick and so on and so forth, then I would say that that may not be a bad one to add, and it will actually help you do that. And also for children, if your children get sick often, then zinc may be a good one to add as well. Okay, so I am going on to the third question here. So, okay, I eat well, I exercise, and I still get sick. Okay, what do you mean by eat well? That's actually a question that I would want to know, because a lot of times, there are so many concepts of eating well these days, right? Of course, if you're eating more whole foods and not really as many processed junk or as many of fast foods, then yes, you probably are eating better. But how are you eating? What are the kinds of foods that you're eating? That's actually a question I would ask to know more about what eating well means. I would definitely look into water if that is the case, because your water, if it's not clean and if you're not drinking plenty of it, it means that you may not be able to move, you may not be moving your lymphatics, which means that you may actually get sick because of that as well. Another thing that I would actually look into is your mind, because your mind has amazing capabilities to either keep you healthy or keep you sick. What do you believe? What do you believe about your body? What do you believe about your health? Do you identify yourself with a disease, or do you identify yourself as a healthy person with a disease? Because there is actually a difference between those two. If you're a person who actually thinks that, your name and the disease are exactly the same, then that may also be a reason why, you constantly get sick, because our thoughts, our words have a lot of power over our body. It does not know the difference between your thoughts and your reality. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's say you are actually watching Food Channel on TV, and you're actually seeing this amazing dish that's being cooked, or the host eating the dish, and you're just looking at it and you're like, oh my God, that looks scrumptious, and you're just starting to salivate. So even though you don't have any food in front of you, that food that you see on TV makes you actually salivate. So there is a physiological reaction to something that you're seeing, to something that you're thinking. And that means that your body is reacting and responding to a thought that you're having. So saliva production is a physiological response. So the same thing applies to everything else as well. So if you're stressed out a lot, or if you think stress is normal, or if you think that being stressed out is normal, all of these things actually produces certain kinds of chemicals in our body that makes our immune system poor or depresses our immune system. And that could also be a reason why you get sick often. And here I would be very interested in actually sharing a story. So I had a practice in Las Vegas, and I eventually closed it, at least the physical presence of me in Las Vegas. I closed that in November of 2018. I still continue to see all of my patients from Las Vegas as well via FaceTime or Skype. But until then, since I moved to Dallas in 2016, I was kind of flying out there pretty much every month for a week or so. And I would see patients back to back with no time or care for my body. And I would also fly out at all odd times. I wasn't drinking water properly, I wasn't eating properly, I was sleeping at all odd times, I wasn't getting enough rest, I was working sometimes 2 weeks at a stretch without a break. So all of those things took a toll on my body, and for the first time I started getting sick. And I would have sinus infections, I had colds often, And it was not because of the flight. See, a lot of people would say, oh, I get sick because, I fly a lot, or there are people in the flight a lot, and people are sick in the flight and they're sneezing on me, and so on and so forth. And that is not the reason why we get sick. We get sick because our immune system is poor at that time because of the habits that we have at the moment. And at that time, I didn't really take good care of myself. Somehow, instead of doing things consciously, I started doing things compulsively because I felt responsible for my patients in Las Vegas, and I felt that I had to go do that. And I also felt responsible for my patients in Dallas. I would continue to work right before I left and then come back and work. It was a nightmare, right? So eventually I had to realize that if I wasn't healthy, I could not serve people at all. So I said, okay, I cannot do this. And I stopped going and, started seeing patients virtually. I mean, of course, I would obviously love to be able to be, available physically in any parts of the world at the same time. But we have to take care of this body. The career, money, everything else comes after. We acquired this body first. So we need to make sure that we take care of this body first, and then our career, finances, and all of those things. So make sure that you are not stressing your body out if you get sick often, even if you are eating well and exercising. Okay, Kiran's question, what are your thoughts on melatonin? As we get older, our bodies produce less and less of melatonin. I'm thinking it should be safe to start with small dose. I have the liquid kind. I can't swallow pills. I am not sleeping well due to seasonal allergies and sinus infection, making me terribly congested, just trying to find temporary relief until I can come see you and fix my gut. Okay, my dear. So, melatonin, I wouldn't really recommend melatonin unless the patient has been on other sleep drugs. So that is, drugs that actually helps in, sleeping. So unless the patient has been on that and we are trying to wean them off of that and we are trying to put them on something natural, I don't really recommend melatonin, because it actually disrupts the melatonin production naturally in your body. Your body has a natural mechanism of doing that. One of the things that I would often tell you is that have a good sleeping habit. Go to bed between at least before 10 p.m. and wake up by 5 to 6 a.m. Do not sleep late, wake up late. That's a very bad practice that actually produces less melatonin. And the reason why our bodies produce less and less melatonin as we age is not because, we are aging, it's because we are actually moving less. We don't have that much activity. The less activity we have, the less sleep we need. A lot of times we think, everybody needs 8 hours of sleep. And I can tell you that is not the case. So what we need is rest. If our minds are not going at 1,000,000 thoughts per minute, right? And if our bodies are actually, you're eating well and you're taking care of things, then you do not really need a lot of sleep. So, and another thought that we have is if we don't get 8 hours of sleep, or if we have that sleeping device that actually, checks and says that, you didn't get this much amount of sleep. And in the morning we wake up and we don't even feel tired. The moment we look at it, we feel tired. So those thoughts as well make a difference. I've been very active since COVID. I jog in the mornings and bike ride in the evenings, averaging 1.5 miles. Awesome, Kiran. Think about what your thoughts are, how your thoughts are going. Are you having a lot of thoughts, especially thoughts that disturb you, that makes you uncomfortable? Think about that, because those can actually disrupt melatonin production as well. And don't watch TV at least an hour prior to going to sleep. Turn off any blue lights, anything that emits blue lights, like your phones, laptops, TVs, at least an hour before, and even dim the lights in your rooms before, at least an hour before you go to sleep if you have difficulty falling asleep. We do actually do another homeopathic remedy called as a sleepy time that has a few different ones that are actually very helpful for sleep and helps us naturally fall asleep and kind of gets us in that rhythm of sleeping rather than forcefully making our body go to sleep. Like melatonin is something that your pineal gland produces as a result of darkness. So if let's say that you are in a light, heavily lighted environment until you go to sleep, that's going to reduce the melatonin production naturally. And when we take melatonin as a supplement, that also makes our body not understand how much melatonin it needs to produce on a day-to-day basis. And that's not usually a good thing, because the moment you stop it, you will actually not be able to produce enough melatonin and you will actually have more sleep issues. So it may be a good idea for us to rather do something that's more natural. Other things that I might recommend off, over the counter are chamomile tea. You can do skullcap tea, valerian tea. These are all things that naturally helps your body relax. And for your allergies, maybe actually take something like dehist. That can help your allergies as well. That can keep your sinus congestion down, and do a sinus rinse with alum, baking soda, and salt, sea salt. And those are some things that can help you as well until we fix your gut. Okay. I hope I answered that question fully, Kiran. Okay, let me go back to my questions I have here from other patients. I'm so grateful for you guys, because you are the reason why I do this, right? So I'm very grateful for your watching, for you asking questions, and keeping yourself healthy and keeping your families healthy, because that's what we need. We need to come together as a community to keep our bodies healthy. We shouldn't be going to a doctor all the time. We should be going to a doctor when we need it, okay? Until we fix our body. We should not be attached to our doctors, okay? You can come and see me, just to say hi, but you don't need to be my patient for the rest of your life. No. Okay, the next question I'll go to is allergies. So negative ion air purifiers. Okay, so the question is whether they can use negative ion air purifiers for allergies. Yes, you can use it for sure. It does actually drop the count of pollen in the atmosphere, or rather in your house or in your room, and that can help with sinus symptoms. But then again, they are temporary fixes. They are band-aids. They are not permanent fixes, because the moment you go out, you're going to actually be bombarded with the pollen again, and you're going to actually suffer. So fix your gut, fix your diet, fix your lymphatic system, fix your allergies once and for all, so we don't have to deal with these things over and over and over again. That would be my advice, to permanently fix it, okay? But for temporarily, yes, and negative ion producer would be really helpful temporarily in your room, yes. And okay, so there's this other question that I have that I wanted to share about as well. So one of my patients, she asked me about her child who sneezes occasionally and has a runny nose occasionally. And it's a newborn, not necessarily newborn baby, like a 7-month-old baby. And so she was concerned that her baby was developing allergies, especially the fact that the baby is nursed exclusively. So she was like, why is this happening? And she has a good diet. And I had to explain to her that that's not really allergies. So our bodies naturally produce those kinds of symptoms when we are exposed to a lot of pollen or dust and so on and so forth. So that is normal to be sneezing a few times here and there. If there is a lot of pollen, that's the way your body eliminates the pollen or any other foreign body that has gotten into your nostril. Or have a little bit of a runny nose occasionally, that actually makes you remove the pollen from the body or the foreign body from the body. So that is not considered as an allergy. An allergy is when you have consistent symptoms that are bothersome, and it doesn't seem to actually go away on its own quickly. It's actually there persistently. So that's what is an allergy. So don't be afraid if you're sneezing here and there, or if you actually have a little bit of runny nose, or your eyes get watery if there's a lot of wind outside and you're jogging and your eyes get watery because it's trying to remove the pollen. That is normal. So don't be concerned about, oh my god, am I developing allergies? So okay, this is the last question I have from before. So if you have any questions, please post it now. Otherwise, after I answer this question, I will be concluding this session. Okay. The question is about the gut and what can I do with my gut at home to be able to help with allergies with my immune system? Good question, very good question. Make sure you're not constipated. That's actually very, very, very important. Also, if you're bloated regularly or gassy regularly, that means that there is something going on in the gut. That should not be happening as well. It means that there is a dysbiosis or an imbalance of bacteria in your gut. So that would be something to be addressed for sure. So make sure that you're not constipated, you're having a bowel movement regularly. One of the best ways to have a bowel movement every day is to eat plenty of vegetables and fruits and drink plenty of water, especially first thing in the morning. When you wake up, drink maybe 3 to 4 glasses of warm water as soon as you wake up, and that will actually enable things to be moved down the pipe and make you have a bowel movement sooner than later. I prefer that people have a bowel movement first thing in the morning or right before they even start eating. That's always the best because you're actually going to clean your bowels before you put food in. So that is the thing that you can do at home. And also, if you tend to have constipation or hard stools, one of the other things that I would recommend is get a squatty potty, and that's something that you can use with your current commode. Just put it under, and you'll be able to facilitate the movement of the bowels in a very natural way, because that's how things typically move. And the sitting position in Western commodes do not really work at all. They do not facilitate proper bowel movements, even in babies and children. If you notice constipation, I would highly recommend that you get a squatty potty for them and start practicing with that, so that they have the natural bowel movement coming easily down rather than getting stuck more often. So that's one thing. Make sure that you're not bloated or gassy. If you are, you have to definitely see what you need to do or consult a professional to understand why that's happening, and then definitely remedy that problem. So those are some things that you can start out with to address immune system as well as allergies, because allergies are nothing but they're still immune system related issue. It's not really something related to your respiratory system. It's actually related to your immune system. It's a hypersensitive immune system response. That's what an allergy is. Okay. So we'll also be discussing on the June 1st Wednesday webinar some things that we can do for bug bites and so on and so forth, because we are coming into the summer now, and in Texas we have plenty of bugs, and I mean, we need them, but we don't want them to bite us and we don't want to suffer from them. So we'll discuss those things as well in our webinar. So please share that information, share that event with your family and friends. So, more and more people can be educated, more and more people can benefit from the comfort of their own homes, how to get healthy and stay healthy. Thank you for watching. And since I don't see any more questions coming up, I'm going to conclude this session. I appreciate your time being spent with me. Thank you so much. And I will see you next. Thank you for the question. As I'm about to conclude. My 3-year-old son is waking up at 3 a.m. daily and not sleeping for 1 hour. Please, can you tell me why? And also, he's having nose congestion only during night time for last 1 month. Please guide me. Sure. So, some of the reasons for a nasal congestion possibly could be allergies. Okay, that that could also be a sign. He may be having pollen that's in the nostrils that has not been eliminated by his body. So when he goes to bed, it's amazing how intelligent our body is, because the nasal mucosa immediately says, well, this is a foreign body, it should not enter into the lungs. So let me just swell up and keep the pollen right here so that it doesn't go into the more important organs. And that's the reason why nasal congestion happens. It's not because of phlegm or mucus that's in the nasal passages. Most of the time it's because of the swelling that's produced in the lining of the nostrils. So that's probably why it causes that. So I would definitely look into allergies for him, and also maybe you can actually get him a saline spray. Or even actually do a sinus rinse for him at night before he goes to sleep. A sinus rinse is where you actually put the water in through one side and it comes through the other side. And when you do that, it will actually clean up his nasal passages. And when that happens, you will be able to get his nostril be clean, so maybe he won't have nasal congestion and he'll be able to sleep better. And that could also be the reason why he's waking up, because he's not getting enough oxygen. And if he's keeping his mouth open while sleeping, that could also cause his tonsils to become enlarged. So please contact a professional to understand more. If you're able to just get this resolved with sinus rinse or even a saline spray up his nose, then it's great. If you're not able to do that, then definitely contact a professional. Thank you for that question. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sorry we didn't actually create the poll last time. We got a little bit busy. We'll be creating that poll today for the future topics that you want us to discuss in our Facebook Live. So please go ahead and put your inputs and let us know what you want us to talk about, and be more than happy to answer any questions. So this actually concludes our immune boosting series with this question and answer. So we'll be starting something new next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a amazing week and stay well.